Today I'm going to talk to you about hydrogen and why it's so much more important than it seems. So firstly, a history of hydrogen. Hydrogen was actually discovered over 250 years ago by Henry Cavendish in 1766. He called it flammable air because of its highly combustible nature. However, it wasn't until Antoine Lavoisier reproduced Cavendish's findings in 1783 that the gas was given its current name, hydrogen, which comes from the Greek words hydro, meaning water, and genes, meaning creator. Now, what is hydrogen used for? Hydrogen plays a crucial role in the industrial production of two of the most significant chemical compounds, ammonia and methanol. Ammonia is widely used in fertilizers, produced using the Haber process, while methanol is an essential component in the manufacture of various polymers. In addition, hydrogen is extensively used in oil refining, particularly for eliminating sulfur compounds from gasoline. These compounds can harm the catalytic converters in cars if not removed from the petrol. Now, why do I think hydrogen will be so important? Now, the main benefit of hydrogen is that when it combusts, it doesn't produce any carbon dioxide. If humanity hopes to become net zero, using hydrogen instead of fossil fuels would be a promising step forward. Additionally, as you can see in the image on the right, hydrogen, if injected correctly, can have a higher power output than gasoline by 17%. So why are we not using hydrogen instead of fossil fuels if this is the case? I mean, we've known about hydrogen for over 250 years. To understand this, let's first look at the manufacture of hydrogen. Hydrogen is manufactured using steam reformation predominantly. The first stage is an endothermic reaction where methane is reacted with steam to produce carbon monoxide and hydrogen gas. In the second stage, the shift reaction, the carbon monoxide produced is reacted with water to produce carbon dioxide and more hydrogen gas. The shift reaction is exothermic. Now, these reactions are some of the main reasons why hydrogen isn't the major energy source across the world right now. Firstly, the overall enthalpy change of the two reactions is plus 165 kilojoules per mole of CH4, which results in just over 41 kilojoules per mole of H2 being produced. This means that the reaction is endothermic and therefore requires a lot of energy to produce pure hydrogen. Secondly, the CO2 evolution in the second reaction defeats the purpose of using hydrogen as green energy. Lastly, whilst trying to escape from the dependency on fossil fuels, we are using methane in the reaction. And unfortunately, as of today, almost all 100 million tonnes of hydrogen used annually is supplied by reacting natural gas with steam. Now, there is another way to produce hydrogen, and that's the electrolysis of water. The electrolysis of water doesn't produce any carbon dioxide and doesn't require any fossil fuels. So is everything fixed now? Well, no, not exactly. The electrolysis of water has an enthalpy change of plus 286 kilojoules per mole of hydrogen evolved, which is significantly higher than the other way to produce hydrogen. The issue is how we source that energy cleanly. Currently, the green energy sources are not strong enough to even support the current energy requirements of the world, so it's likely that nearly all the energy used during electrolysis will have been provided via fossil fuels. While in the future our green energy sources may be strong enough to make this process completely green, at the moment it would likely cause a greater impact on the environment than directly using fossil fuels. So is there any hope? Well, yes. Just over a month ago, a New Scientist reporter, James Deneen, ran a story about what he called gaseous gold. Historically, hydrogen was thought to be too reactive to accumulate in large amounts in its pure form. However, in 2012, a water well near Burkabogu in Mali contained a large reserve of hydrogen. Since that discovery, the world has searched for many other underground hydrogen reservoirs, with significant numbers being discovered in Australia, France, and Spain. These discoveries are very groundbreaking, as according to a consultant called Eric Goucher, if we used these reservoirs to match even 30% of our global hydrogen needs, it would free up a significant amount of energy that is currently used in producing green hydrogen via electrolysis and steam reformation. However, we still have a long way to go to harness this energy today. Since hydrogen is found in its gaseous form in these reservoirs, it would need to be compressed and pipes would need to be built to transport it across the world. This would require the world to come together to make this change. But we have no estimate of how much hydrogen is stored underground, and there is therefore hesitation to build all the technology required to harness the hydrogen. There is, however, research being put into stimulating the Earth to produce hydrogen naturally in more convenient areas to circumvent this need to build hydrogen pipes. The US Department of Energy is investing over $20 million into these efforts. Now, to conclude, I truly believe that hydrogen is so much more important than many give it credit for being, and I believe the future of green energy will significantly rely on hydrogen's contributions. It's currently barely used to produce energy due to its high energy demands. However, with the discovery of gold hydrogen, gaseous gold, its significance will likely grow exponentially as we learn to harness it. If we can produce or harness it cleanly, we could power cars, planes, factories, etc. using hydrogen, dramatically reducing global carbon emissions, pushing the world towards its net zero aims.